All right, then we are going to speak about a very important topic. There you have it, Suchitra, exclusive on lyricist Vairamuthu's claims. What's the story? And I shall tell you right here. Today, of course, we are speaking about one of the most talented lyricists that Tamil Nadu film industry has ever seen. A man who's known to write words which have evoked all human emotions. But then there is another side to him, and that in today's Hema Committe report, allegations come up like a huge wart, like a huge blot. In 2018, Vairamuthu termed the Me Too movement as being fashionable. But today, he's done a complete turnaround and sailing with popular sentiments, many are saying, including me. He said that an investigative body like the Hema Committe must be set up in all large industries, including the Tamil film industry. He said, and I am quoting him here, I think that a committee similar to the Hema Committe should be formed in each important industry across states. Women in the country are yearning for security, not just in film industries, but in all professions. Women are exploited and subjected to sexual harassment everywhere. Great words, but then this is the same man against whom several women, including a journalist, singers such as Chinmayi Sripada and Bhuvana Seshan, an independent musician Sindhuja Rajaram, and several others who had outed him, saying that the man was a predator. But what is most shocking and strange, and some people would say very normal, is that Vairamuthu continues to be facilitated at various events by political parties, including their ruling Dravida Munneta Kazhagam, with whom he enjoys a long-standing friendship. Today, ladies and gents, we are joined by a woman who is an artist, a singer, once a popular RJ, dubbing actor, and much more. I mean, it's very difficult to kind of, put her in a box. Suchitra, who also has her own Vairamuthu story. Let's talk to her. Hi, Suchitra. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak with me. Vanakkam. Hope you're doing
Sudha.
well. Vanakkam. Suchitra, I first want your opinion on the entire Hema Committe report, allegations, what the WCC has done, which is, of course, was formed after an actor assaulted an actress in Kerala, and what they have come up with, the kind of patience that they have shown throughout. Also now the internal ICC committee in Tamil Nadu industry with Rohini, the actor, also saying that we shall take complaints very, very seriously. Kannada film industry is talking about it. Telugu is yet to kind of rejuvenate what it had said earlier. Your overall perspective on this, is it easy to say it's a good thing or a bad thing, or you have some other opinions, Suchitra?
Ma'am, if you had seen some of my my vernacular interviews, I don't think you might have even broached the subject to me, because I feel it's a complete misuse of a fantastic judiciary decree. It's an incomplete report. It has no head or tail. It just has a lot of descriptions. In a few interviews, I've called it a 50 Shades of Grey, because you cannot have a report about such a serious issue, which has been taken at such a serious level, and cover your own people up, like Radhika Sharad Kumar said in an interview that if I were to spit looking upwards, it would fall right on my face. So without mentioning names, they've mentioned incidents and graphic details and cases which even like literally to traumatize the public or to further a political agenda. I don't know what, but I don't think it was solution oriented at all. In fact, the only benefit that's happening about that case is that a lot of people who did not have the strength to talk about their own trauma stories earlier are taking a ride on this train, some for good reasons, and I hope it helps them detox, and some are completely agenda-based, and people who want to make a comeback, or people who've been motivated to think other actors. Those are the kind of people that are taking a ride on this Hema Express, I feel.
All right. Suchitra, you also have, I've watched most of your vernacular interviews, and I must say that that's one of the reasons I actually, broached you. But then more importantly than anything else, Suchitra, you have your own Vairamuthu story, which I saw in a vernacular interview that you gave in Tamil. But would you like to share that with the viewers? Because many women, Chinmayi Sripada, who apparently was banned, got no work, sat around home, but we are all survivors, right? Suchitra, at the end of the day, we shall survive. There are also, I spoke to Bhuvana this morning. She also said she has her own story. Sindhuja, journalist, small actors, artists who do kind of not the heroine or the main leads, they also have their story. Suchitra, you also have your Vairamuthu story, isn't that right?
So, ma'am, every singer in South India, or at least in Tamil Nadu, has a Vairamuthu story because he's a systematic sexual offender who calls every single rising singer and gives them the same bunch of dialogues. Here in this industry, I've been very lucky to have parents who were very clear that priority was education and who were very careful about the kind of friends I made. I've always had strong friends. I grew up in Kerala. I can sense a predator a mile away. But sometimes when you're new to an industry, it's a whole new jungle. You need to start making friends. Unfortunately, I don't think Chinmayi has made any friends among singers. That's very sad. I can name them. Ganga, Feji, Febi. We are people who sang chorus together. We used to eat together. We used to order tea together. We used to share money for our biryani. And then they warn you, right? They tell you that, if this guy calls, he's going to try this on you. And I was advised, if Vairamuthu calls you, just land up at his place the first time because otherwise he's really going to stalk. So you land up at his place, but you please go with company. Do not go alone. The chorus singer friends of mine had already told me this. So when I did get that phone call from Vairamuthu, where he's like, the kind of dialogues that I was warned he was going to throw at me, like, your voice is making me fall in love with you, and there's this kind of lusty vibe to your voice that I've never heard anywhere. I knew, okay, it was time to make the call, and I took my grandmother along with me. I had lost my parents by then, and I was living with my grandmother, and she was a big pillar of strength for me, very strong woman. She came along with me. We knew exactly what the plot was. So the minute we landed there, without any provocation, my grandmother started lecturing him. She started telling him, "So the only reason we are here is because you're a senior person in the industry and you're very respected. And we are hoping that everything we've heard about you is not true." He couldn't reply to that. And then she ranted for another 20 minutes and she said, she's an educated girl. She knows to bring her grandmother along with her, and I know to talk. I studied till 8th standard, and I was part of Sarojini Naidu's campaign in Mayavaram, and my own father beat me on my back. So, I'm sorry, did the line just get cut or something?
No, you're fine. Just go ahead. Just go ahead.
All right. Okay. So, she really gave it to him for 20 minutes, and she said, "You guys are supposed to guide a young singer like this. We've heard about your modus operandi," and he's sweating like, no, ma, I really wanted to give her a prize. So she's like, "Where is it then? Bring it." And he goes inside and gets one of those duty-free tied-up shampoo conditioner set. And she's like, right? And I tell you the rest of the story, which I happened to miss out. I wanted to throw it in the dustbin right outside his house. And I said, I want to do this because I'm very angry. I want him to see that I have discarded the shampoo conditioner he's given me. He said, "No, I have read in magazines that people like this are very vengeful. He's going to send people home and it's just you and me there." My sister was in New Zealand at the time. So it's just the two of us, and it's going to be very difficult. We don't know how to handle that level of danger, so don't do that. And I wanted to throw it even at the bus stop, and she's like, "No, he might have men here. I've heard the whole ilaka belongs to them. They're like dadas." And like, okay, let me just get rid of it once I'm back home. And my grandmother said, "No, illada." In the bus, I thought of a better idea. He did say it's a trophy, right? Why don't you keep it in the showcase along with your other athletic trophies and everything?
Wicked.
Like, why? And she's saying, "No, let's tell the story to every person who visits us." So for the next 1 year, the trophy, the shampoo conditioner bottle in my showcase was the talk of my entire family. Any friend who came home, we told them these exact details. And trust me, even back then, we had named him Vairamuthu, thanks to the hair and the Pantene and all of that. And
so, Suchitra, I want to understand one thing. So, by taking your grandmother along, you had actually, arrested any kind of a advance that he would make at you, because
and sent a very strong signal that don't even try this with me hereafter.
Okay.
Don't even try. But he still tried. He kept calling, and I used to cut the phone whenever the connection ringtone used to happen.
All right. So this is while you were singing chorus and doing other things, you'd already heard that.
When I got my first hit, I had got my first hit at that time. I was singing chorus for 3 years, and I had got a hit called "May Masam Thonnuthettil," which this guy happened to have written. He was the
Okay.
lyricist of that song.
Okay.
So he called under the pretext of saying, hey, our song is a hit.
Okay. Yeah. So you actually stymied that. After that, did you ever have had to, because I'll tell you what, Chinmayi Sripada is gone on record, and I've spoken to many people
I would
that
blame her mother, ma'am. Come on. I would really blame her mother. What was her mother doing? What was her mother doing? My grandmother was older and she knew she couldn't come to blows with this gentleman. Have you seen her mother speak in interviews, all vitriol and fire and fury and everything? Chinmayi was 16, she didn't know what happened to her. A person who's had a traumatic incident happen to them won't even know how to comprehend it for 5 or 6 days. By
right.
then, if the mother has given her bonvita and told her to shut up, what would she do?
Right. But Suchitra, I'm also talking about the other aspect, and a lot of women have spoken to me from the Kerala film industry. They said the minute we speak up, and to the producer, production controller, anybody, we are told, sit in a corner, no work will be given to you. Now look at it. It's also economics.
No, you already know that those are not the people to complain to. They are the perpetrators. They are perpetrators and fuelers of the game. You have to trust and go to the neutral police or the judiciary. There is no other way.
Right.
We literally have only two options. Like, how many choices do you want? I think it's better you just have two choices. You either go to a lawyer and ask him, what should I do about this? Or you just go to a police station and ask them, what should I do about this?
Yeah. So,
And
yeah.
a police station is, let me finish. A police station is more helpful if you go there immediately. A lawyer is always helpful no matter when you go to them, right?
Okay. Suchitra, also we know that Vairamuthu is, one of the most renowned lyricists. He's very famous. He's got a Sahitya Academy, a Padma Vibhushan, Padma Shri, you name it. Secondly, he's allegedly very, very close to the ruling dispensation.
Yeah.
Now, if you as a young artist or anyone else goes, how seriously is that complaint even taken? That is point one. And point two
Why
is...
that my worry? That's my answer to you. Why is that any of my business? Maybe DMK doesn't even like him, sponging off them. He's the one who keeps going around flaunting that validation more than anybody else. There are a lot of dogs that just lie around at the doors of powerful political parties claiming affiliation and associations. Did the DMK ask him to give a statement about Hema Committe on behalf of the government? Where does he get off doing that? It's just because they're keeping quiet about it. I don't know what kind of loyalties happen between these people, but that does not make him a powerful person, ma'am.
Right. But a lot of, I know where you're coming from. There is for many other women, the only recourse is not only the police station, but Nadigar Sangam.
And by the way, may I correct it? I did not accuse him of assaulting me. I accused him of attempted, getting me into his camp and grooming of whatever the modus operandi that he operates, to which a lot of other gullible girls have fallen. I said I got away from it.
Right. No, we are not attributing sexual assault to you. It's somebody else.
Thank you, because I'm not accusing him of
that's
that
not,
personally.
I've not even said that. I only said that you have a Vairamuthu story and you just told me about how it unfolded. I want to ask you about, the other aspect of when you go to a body, an organization which actually takes care of your needs. For instance, if you are an out-of-work actor, if you're an actor who's ailing, if you're an actor, who has several other problems, these bodies, organizations come forward and help you. Have they been totally ineffective, and now do you think it's a good stand when they say that the Internal Complaints Committee shall take cognizance of the fact and take it very seriously if there is even one complaint against an actor, gender notwithstanding, of having harassed the other one?
Ma'am, can I just answer this in a socio-economic way? We have nobody other than the police and the judiciary who are likely to be neutral. It's the law of possibility. Out of everything that's happened, any private body is an agenda-based body. Every private body is corruptible and is corrupt. I would go to the extent of saying any NGO that does not have proper governmental checks put in and those checks are not corrupt, I don't think a single one of them exists. So the only thing we have left today, and this is because of, overpopulation and all the systems breaking at their seams, this is really socio-economics. There are only two things floating today, and even those are in the danger of sinking when you look at what is happening in Kolkata. But when you have really no other, there are only two lifebuoys. One is like a broken raft, and the other one is a sinking ship. So one is the judiciary, and one is the police. So literally everything else is under suspect, other than
strong
these
words,
two.
very
I would
strong.
say,
Yeah,
Yeah.
very strong words there. Suchitra, have you ever felt that because you've spoken out, like many women say that the minute we've spoken out, we are seeing as problematic and say, let's not take her in the project, something or the other. Have you ever felt cornered that way?
Not, ma'am, that's an expected collateral damage when you get on the path of rampage. So I don't give a ear to those kind of complaints. They are naturally to be expected. It's about staying focused on what you want to get done and not sitting and crying for 4 pages in Hema Committee that we worked in non-AC conditions. And it really looks like a report by, sorry to say. So therefore, it for me, it really read like Anna Wintour wrote some expose. It didn't make any sense to me. I do not support that report at all. I think a bunch of very rich, arrogant, spoiled, elitist actresses and so-called cinema experts completely threw down the gutter what could have been a fantastic, life-changing decree. We could have set an example for Hollywood. We could have set an example for countries where there are cinema industries and they don't know what to do about it. We could have given them a manual. We could have taught them, this is how you do it. And these girls have gone and thrown it down the drain, ma'am. I'm ashamed of all of them.
But how would you do it then? How would you do it?
I don't know. You're asking me now. Give me a year's time. I'm not going to make, I can promise you already it's going to be a 3,000-page document. And it's going to be part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5.
Right. On that note, Suchitra, thank you so much for speaking with News 9. These are your opinions, very strong words said there. Thank you indeed. Thank you.